For many ancient believers, prayer wasn't just a conversation, it was a sacred orientation of the heart and body. They didn't simply bow their heads and speak to God. They turned their faces toward Jerusalem. But why? What made that direction so significant that even in exile, believers would stop everything to pray while facing the holy city? The answer begins with the temple in Jerusalem, according to 2 Chronicles 6:34-39, when Solomon dedicated the temple. He prayed a powerful request to God. He asked that if God's people were ever taken far away due to sin or captivity, and they turned back to him and prayed toward the land, the city, and the temple, that God would hear them from heaven and forgive them. This wasn't superstition. It was covenant, was rooted in a promise. Later in Scripture, we see that promise honored. When Daniel was taken into exile in Babylon, he held tightly to this tradition. In Daniel 6:10, it says, he went into his house. 3 times a day, he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God just as he had done before. But the verse also says something else. With the windows open toward Jerusalem, though miles away from the city, Daniel's heart was still tethered to God's promise. And by facing Jerusalem, he wasn't just praying, he was remembering who he was, who God is, and where hope still lived. Jerusalem represented more than a city, was the dwelling place of God's presence, the home of the Ark of the Covenant, and the center of Jewish worship. To face Jerusalem in prayer was to reorient your heart toward the promises, the covenant, and the presence of God himself. It was a posture of alignment, body and soul, turned toward what was holy. Even in the New Testament, the significance of Jerusalem remains. Jesus himself wept over the city in Luke 19:41, saying, if you, even you, had only known on this day what would bring you peace. His love for Jerusalem reflected heaven's heart for that sacred place. It was the city of kings, prophets, and salvation's unfolding plan. Today, while believers may no longer be required to pray facing a physical direction, the principle remains powerful. Where is your heart facing when you pray? Is it turned toward fear, distraction, or routine? Or is it aligned with God's promises like the ancients who faced Jerusalem? The direction we face in prayer spiritually still matters. Ancient believers faced Jerusalem because that's where they believed heaven had touched earth. That's where sacrifices were made, where mercy was poured out, and where God made his name dwell. In turning toward that city, they were turning toward hope, forgiveness, and identity. So the next time you pray, ask yourself, where is my heart turned? You may not need to face east or find a city on a map, but turning your heart toward God's presence with reverence. Expectation and remembrance is still how healing and restoration begin.